This is a story about the lady in white. We innocently took free books from a box at an estate sale, and what we got was more than fictitious tales. We inherited the lady in white who recently passed away and took a detour into our home. This is what happened. 3, 2, 1. Hey, you guys, welcome to Storytime for August. And I hope you enjoyed that intro because it happened right there. And so I want to tell you a very interesting story. Let me get my coffee. My coffee! And I better not spill on this rug because this rug is awesome. It's fairly new. I'm going to put it right up here. Okay, so yesterday in the afternoon, we went and took the girls. I wanted to take the girls out. They get bored, just like humans, right? We get bored with doing the same thing over and over again, and they're bored with their walks. So I decided let's take them out into different neighborhoods. We went down there and, we parked somewhere and just got out and started walking. We were going on the route and we were walking, and of course I see like a yard sale type of thing, but there was really no one out there, so it wasn't like an active yard sale that people are like working. And then I noticed there was a cardboard box that just said everything is free. Moving sale, everything free. And so, of course, I'm like, okay, let's walk the dogs over there to see if there's anything in particular. I didn't see any major, like, big pieces or anything. I was more interested in what was on the table. I am always in the market for, old kind of gold-plated, brass-plated, bronzy, old-looking cast iron stuff. I love that Gothic look and that old antique look. I love reading. I have a study full of books. It's not even all my books. I still have tons of books in storage. I always get more books if I see anything that looks interesting. So I was drawn to these two books. I like fiction. I do nonfiction too, but sometimes I just like, relaxing fiction that talks about cottages and coffee and bakers and anything Victorian in it. I just love those that make you feel like you're in some comfy, Victorian home in some kind of village or whatever. So I saw these books and I was really drawn to one in particular, which was this one. It's like 4 different authors, so there's literally 4 books in here. And the one I was drawn to was An Irish Country Village. There was 2 books like that, so I just grabbed both of them, and I'm like, well, there's nothing else here that I want because I don't want a bunch of collectibles. I'm trying to actually downsize certain things. Books, though, like, yeah, I could read these. So I grabbed these, I put them under my arm, and we just kept walking. We did our own thing. We came home, I put these down. We had the rest of our day, and I spent a lot of the day yesterday doing, my Patreon videos and editing and all that good stuff, doing voiceovers and such. Private practice stuff, getting ready for all of that and communicating with my Udemy students and communicating with my clients for the coming week and all that good stuff, right? So we were busy. And yes, it was a Sunday, but we love what we do. And so when you love what you do, you're doing it all the time. And it is true. You don't feel like you're working because, you're working, but you don't mind doing it because it's what your heart and soul is into. What was interesting is I did all that stuff, and you guys know I absolutely love my bedroom. I call it the Corsair's Lair, and I have a whole storyline of how I themed it, and it's basically like a 3rd or 4th generation pirate, great-great-great-granddaughter of a pirate. And so she has in her room all of these amazing things, from travels from all over the world, some that she's done and some that she inherited. And, there's a certain area that looks like just a collection of booty that pirates collected. And it just shows a fascination for loving travel and all these interesting things. So I love being in that room. And when I've had a particularly busy day and I put my heart and soul into everything, I feel really tired at the end of a day like that, in a good way. Like I had a good day, and all I want to do is go in that room and have my laptop and, you know, maybe watch my Star Trek Next Generation, or I watch some of the people that I follow on YouTube or on Patreon, and just, you know, bring my little baby girls in there because they sleep next to me, and we just kind of lay in there and we enjoy the room. And I was up for a couple of hours in there just, you know, doing my thing and relaxing and having all the lights turned on. And you've seen the pictures. If you haven't seen the pictures yet, there's pictures that I posted on Patreon that shows you pictures of the room, and I think it says the G spot. And you can see how luminous and beautiful it is. It's like deep reds and purples and blues, and it has water on the ceiling, all that. So I was in there and I was relaxing, and then of course I just start to doze off, and my husband was in the other room. He didn't want to go in there. He doesn't find it as comfortable for his back, so he often doesn't want to come in there and just like hang out in there the way that I like to hang out in there. So so he was out in this room. What ends up happening is he comes in to the room, and I wake up because he closes the door and he comes in, and he's kind of like coming in quickly, and he shuts the door and kind of climbs into bed, and he's talking, and he doesn't usually talk. That's the thing, like he's not a big talker. Like he'll get in and he'll be silent. But he was actually talking, and his energy felt different, so it kind of woke me up. I think I was only dozing. I wasn't really like out cold. He's talking and he's like, there's like a lady in a white dress out there. I just saw a lady in a white dress out there. What? And I go, you mean like a ghost? He didn't say anything else. He didn't say, like, he just was like, I literally saw a lady in a white dress. And I go, what happened? He's like, I was sitting on the couch and I was at the end of watching a movie. All of a sudden, I just felt this feeling, like something in me, like something came over me. Like it's that feeling that he gets when something spirit is in the room, or he's gonna see something that's, you know, from another dimension type of deal. He felt that feeling, and that's what made him look up. And he looked up over here, so right behind here, okay. And what he saw was a lady in a white dress standing right behind that curtain right here. And he said she had black hair, and then when he looked at her, she was clearly physical and looking at him. And when he looked up, and he had to kind of blink his eyes to make sure he was seeing what he was seeing, it was like she realized he saw her, and she stepped back into the shadows. And that's when he realized, I think it's time to go to bed. And that's when he came in and he talked to me, you know, and let me know what was going on. Now, I see stuff all the time, and so none of that stuff scares me. I mean, I used to go in and clear houses and talk to spirits that people were saying were in the houses, and tell them why the spirits were there. So none of that freaks me out. But it was just kind of funny because my husband was he seemed a little edgy. It was a little more physical than he's ever seen before, and it kind of freaked him out. He'll tell you he wasn't freaked out, but I'll tell you he was freaked out, because he would have not even mentioned it. He would have got in bed and been quiet, and I wouldn't have heard about it until the next day. Because that's typically what happens when he thinks he sees something. And then what he'll do is he'll go down the list of, you know, he said he went like, he sat there and then he said, was that my wife? And he's like, wait, my wife doesn't have black hair. Wait, my wife is not in a white dress. Wait, my wife is in the back room. He goes down the list like he's trying to prove it to himself that he didn't see what he saw. Maybe it's just my imagination. He goes down all that list, but then ultimately he realizes he saw what he saw. We have lots of activity in here, and it doesn't surprise me because I've always been a magnet for that, because I can see them. You can see this Buddha head right here. I often will see a little person peek their head out past the Buddha, right? So it's just like if a head comes out right past the Buddha face, and then it goes back. I see you, I do see you there, and I have that happen quite often. I think that it is what I call a guardian. When I go to the other side, I have a certain place that I go to, and so I end up going into the Acacia Records area, but then I have a certain area off to my side. Guardians are there to guard the Acacia Records, but they're also there almost as like museum tour directors. They're there to celebrate you coming back home, and they will guide you and help you, like wherever your spirit guide is, they'll make sure that you connect up with that guide, and then they'll take you, they'll pass you off to that person. But there's one in particular, and his name is Leah, and they're really little, three to 4 feet, no bigger. They're called guardians, and that's what I see when I go over there. I'm thinking that Leah actually is popping in to check in on me to see what I'm doing. We also have all kinds of activity, like we'll have things disappear and then reappear. It's kind of that antimatter thing, and that's just them wanting you to pay attention to them. We hear a lot of sounds on the carpet. Now, this apartment, I don't know what this is about, but in this apartment, there's all these weird little cutouts in the hallway. And I don't know if it's like electrical area where they cut out part of the floor and they hid the electrical there or something. It has just a piece that fits over it. And then what they did was carpeted over that. So when you're walking on it, you literally hear this ding ding. And there's several of them throughout the house in the living room, but it seems like quite a lot of them are in the hallway. And we will hear this sound. I will hear this sound when I'm home by myself a lot. I will hear that sound all the time. When we're in bed together and there's nobody, I mean, the lights are off, nobody's out here, I will hear walking in the hall because I hear that ding, 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 ding. We do have quite a bit of spirit activity here, and so the thing that I was thinking is, what did we get new? We got these books, and these books might be attached to the lady in the white dress, okay? She may have come in thinking she was gonna, show up in her own house, and then was like, where the heck am I? Because her energy is attached to these. She came in here and is like, wait, where am I? This is not my house. I'm wondering if everything was being given away for free because it was like the leftover stuff, like maybe the lady in the white dress just passed away. And maybe these were her books. And maybe that's why everything was free, because, her family took what they could. And then, I've been through that before. You're left with all this stuff that, like, it's you don't know what to do with. So a lot of this stuff goes to like Goodwill or Value Village or anywhere that you could donate. And so I think they were trying to get rid of as much as they could before they had to haul that stuff to donation. Very interesting. So that is the story of these books, and the intro is just a depiction of what it looked like. I hope you liked that. I was pretty impressed. That turned out really good, I thought. I just kept watching it like, ooh, I want to watch that again, because it looked like exactly what he described seeing. That's kind of what it looked like. I actually received a gift one time before. One of my students actually gave me a crystal gift, and it was so sweet of her to do that, but I also felt when she gave it to me, I felt something. Once I had it in the house, we started to see things, hear things, different things started to happen. And some of you have probably experienced this yourself too, when you bring something new into the home or something that's antique and belonged to somebody else, that you could be bringing in the energy of the other owner or whatever the situation was. And it's not always like a bad thing. What's attached could be just, the person, like we don't feel like the lady in the white dress was not like evil or trying to do anything. She just was attached to the books for some reason. Could be because she passed away recently and her energy is on these books. And she popped down in and realized where she popped to her books was in a different house. So I just find all of that so fascinating and so interesting. And there's a whole market of people who are really into that. And so the story with my crystal, I don't remember all the details, but I did do a video about it. And I did actually sell it on eBay because there's a whole market of people that are interested in buying haunted items. And so I think these babies are gonna go on eBay And the crazy thing is you could make some money. Like I had gotten that crystal for free. I got $50 for it, and they paid for the shipping because somebody who bought it was a like a ghost hunter, and they wanted to, you know, they wanted to test out their skills on it and see what came up. So there's a whole market of people that are really into this for whatever reason. Some people are just really into like goth or haunted stuff, and they just love knowing that they have haunted items. And so I'm pretty sure that I'm going to be putting these things up for sale, and I'll probably do the same thing. I'll probably sell them together for like $50 and see what happens. So I will keep you posted on that one for sure. So that's my story time story. I thought that was so fascinating, and I hope you liked it. Please let me know anything that you want me to talk about. Otherwise, I'm just gonna randomly talk to you when I'm making food, or if I'm cooking a meal, I'll bring you along with me. And I have all kinds of plans to do story times where I'm making certain food items and I just cook and talk to you at the same time while also showing you my recipe. And taking you shopping with me. I thought that we would do some shopping for Halloween and Christmas time to just kind of look at things and just have fun, and maybe do some house tours and show you some of my areas, because I'm very much into theming my apartment and how I do that so that everything that I have in here can come off without costing a fortune. I mean, there's just so much that we could talk about. What I would really love is to get some feedback from you guys as to things that you would like me to talk about, or things that you know about me that you would like me to elaborate on, or just anything of interest. If there's something that you're interested in the world and you want me to look into it and talk about it, let me know what you like to hear, and I'll do story times on that, okay? I hope that you enjoyed it. I had a blast. We'll see what else happens. If you have any questions or you want to communicate to me in... Ooh. I think it's time to go. Okay, you guys, I'll see you later. Bye.